sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.
And so I want to do that today. We'll talk about affirmations. Talk about something we've talked about before, but there's a reason. So I was talking with a family member yesterday, and they were talking about some stress and moving and finding a new job and this and that, and had another similar conversation with a friend recently, and they're making transitions and they're shifting. And the reality is that a lot of the drama that they deal with is self-imposed. They create it. They can't help themselves. Anywhere they go, they find a way to, hey, this is going to go wrong. That's going to go wrong. Oh, I tried it, but they're not trying in a way that's going to be beneficial for them. And so Sierra was talking to him. I was talking to him, different people at different times. And we're talking about, you should be doing this. You should be doing affirmations. You should be doing, what's it called? Tapping. Has anyone, I think Tony Robbins just talks about that in Life Force. I mean, there's all these different things that you can, meditation, prayer, whatever. We were talking about starting to change themselves, their habits, their reactions, their interactions with people in order to create a different result, right? And if you're looking to create a different result, then damn it, you got to act differently. And so we're talking about this, and we started talking about affirmations and the typical reaction. And I know some of you guys react the same way. They go, oh, okay, I got to tell myself this, sure, right? And they immediately go to like the woo-hoo, super spiritualist kind of thoughts that a lot of people struggle with. And some of you guys soak it right up and you get it, and that's awesome. But what I want to do is share a few elements of why it's important from a scientific standpoint, and not just this idea that for years everyone would talk about it and go, oh, well, you're just going to think differently because you're putting it out in the universe, and all that's great and it's true, but affirmations do so much more, and they take time to get into your brain, right? Every single day, one of the things that I write down is this a powerful and passionate relationship with my fiance. One of the things I write down is, money and success flow easily to me, and I overcome obstacles with opportunity and strategy, and my mind is alive with the possibilities, right? Like, these are things that for years I've had to work on and get there. So anytime now something pops up, like automatically now, because I program myself, I don't go, crap, what am I going to do? Something pops up, I go, all right, there's something here that we're going to be able to capitalize on. What does that look like? Right. And other things start to kind of roll around with that. So, Marcia, you got a question or comment?
Yeah. I don't know if people know the difference between affirmations and affirmations. Affirmations, if you look up Noah St. James, one of the two, he is brilliant. And instead of saying, I am rich, I am wealthy, I am, instead of saying that, affirmations, affirmations, why am I so rich? Why am I so happy? Why am I so healthy? Ask the why am questions, because your brain then starts to think, well, wait a minute, why am I that way? And it actually changes it, works faster. Yeah. I do both of them. I do I do feel happy. Why do I feel happy? And that's one thing that I do that really works, that I found right today.
Yeah. And so I've got for you guys, I'm going to share with you some slides and things that detail exactly that. Affirmations. We're going to talk about a little bit about the conscious, subconscious mind. I'm going to give you a piece of this now, and then I'm going to provide the slides. And then depending on what I'm going to ask for, guys, is a little bit of feedback. If you feel like you want to know more, because you've got an opportunity to study some of this on your own, if you feel like you want me to get more in depth with it, then I will this next week. I'm going to highlight some of these things for that reason, because I'd like you guys to do a little study on it on your own, right? Empower yourselves in that way. So you guys everybody should be right now in the Skype group. I've got a Skype challenge group. I don't think Hugh's got the link. So if someone's got the link handy, if they can drop that in, if not, we can get it to you. But inside that, I give you guys access to a Google Drive. inside that Google Drive, I have multiple, let me pull this up for you. There's multiple trainings inside of here. Okay, so we have trainings on brain health. We have this 30-day affirmation challenge, and I talk about affirmations in there. I'm going to be adding these slides as well. So inside of this is talking a little bit about your subconscious mind, affirmations, and more. One thing to understand is, when we're talking about remodeling who we are, you're going to need to work on your brain, right? And I've had Melissa on, talking about our brain, the hardware along with the software, right? The affirmations will begin to rework some of that software. Sometimes there may be hardware issues that you need to look at with neurofeedback therapy. That might be something to check out, right? Because sometimes you can work on the software as much as you want, but if the brain is going to have issues, then there's going to be issues, right? So you need to be patient with yourself. To begin with, your mind is going to fight back. If you're looking to change, your mind doesn't want to change because it takes work. I've done extensive trainings on what happens from a neurological standpoint when you have those neurons and the nerve endings trying to, the way that they fire and the chemical reactions, and then they insulate themselves. And if you're going to change things, then that has to change. You have to break down the myelin insulation around these nerve cells. You've got to change that up, rewire everything. So that takes time, right? To change your reality, heal our bodies, the secret ingredient lies in making up your mind to do so. So it's going to take work is the key thing. 3 conditions of the mind. You have the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Those are your 3 big stages of the mind. So actions in the conscious mind, actions that need you to make an effort and think about what you are doing are said to be formed by the conscious mind. My having this conversation right now with you being present for that, whether or not you're reading this, conscious decisions. The subconscious mind refers to information that's accessible to you when needed, and otherwise not something you pay attention to. Subconsciously, you do a lot. When you move on the road to home, right, you're driving and it gets done. How many of you guys hop into the shower lost in thought, as it were, and you go through this process? First I'm going to shampoo my hair, and then I'm going to wash my body, and then I'm going to do that. And you go through that process without even having to think, right? You drive home, you go, how did I get here? Oftentimes that subconscious mind, because your brain has been trained to do something so many times, you don't need to consciously put much effort into it. They say that the first 7 or 8 years of our life, the way that our brain is forming, the neurons and everything else, the malleability, the plasticity of it all is almost as if we are living in a subconscious reality because things are being wired so frequently, right? Next is the unconscious mind. These are largely primitive instincts, memories from early childhood, may not be easily recalled. So subconscious beliefs can have a huge impact on self-esteem, self-worth, success, business, fear, love, relationships, spirituality, and every area of our life. Your memory has 3 components: the facts, what actually happened, the feelings, how a person felt during the experience, and the learned response to the trauma. When we start to break these things down, this is where the subconscious, the conscious, all of this plays in. The reason we are who we are is based off of the experiences that we have had, how we've reacted to them, the emotions that we felt at that time, the emotions that we continue to feel based off of that. I think we can all agree that a lot of times the way that we remember something may not be exactly how it happened. Right? You ever sat down and had that conversation with your parent and they went, that's not at all what happened when you were 8 or when you were this, or we're like, no, you weren't even there. That was your brother, right? Something like that. We've told ourselves something so many times. Or maybe the conversation you have with a significant other where they get upset and you're like, that was a dream you had. That didn't happen in real life. I don't know what you're talking about. But we put so much emotion into something, it becomes real. That's what our subconscious is oftentimes. Okay. So how we remember things, how we experience things, when you start looking at business opportunity, when you start looking at money, when you start looking at relationships, when you look at habits like your diet or working out, or how your follow through is,
all of these subconscious elements, all of these experiences that we have had play into how we react right now and how we look at things going forward. Whether we're going to have fear that, incapacitates us, or if we utilize that fear as a driving force to do something more, something bigger, something better. Your mind is a powerful tool. It can also be a powerful obstacle. It depends on how you wield it. Now, there's no formal agreement on how fast the subconscious mind is. I think this is incredibly fascinating. The conscious mind processes about 2,000 bits of information per second. Impulses travel along those neurological pathways at 100 to 150 miles per hour. The human retina, however, can transmit visual input at roughly 10 million bits per second, as opposed to 2,000. That's a bit of a difference, ladies and gentlemen. Another study suggests the subconscious mind processes about 400 billion bits of information per second, and the impulses travel at a speed of 100,000 miles per hour. So, subconscious or conscious mind, which one do you think is dictating how you're living your life, guys? 100,000 miles per hour, 400 billion bits of information? Which one is it? So, as an example, your conscious mind is watching one movie, and maybe you're thinking about something else and still able to process it. Subconscious mind is like watching 10,000 films at exactly the same time. Right? How many of you guys, quick show of hands recently, maybe you've watched a show with your significant other and you're watching, and then they start asking you a question about what the hell's going on, and they start talking to you, and you kind of turn and look at them and you go, I'm watching the same damn movie you are. This is my first time. And now you got to pause it and you got to rewind it, because watching the movie and having the conversation, now you're totally lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's our conscious brain at work. Meanwhile, the subconscious mind is watching 10,000 of those all at once and being able to pull data from everything. So right now, your hardware, your software, where you are, when people say, just give me a process, give me a checklist, I'll run a successful business, I kind of look at them and I go, yeah, because right now your hardware is a computer from the 1980s, and the software that you're running is MS-DOS from back in the day when my dad used to play like 8-bit encrypted, nonsense, right? That's what you bring into the table. Unless you rewire this shit, it ain't going to happen. So you got to work on you. Well, how do I do that? It's not going to happen just with the same thing. Like, you've got to make a change, right? So how do we do that? Now we begin subconscious mind programming. Know what you want. And guys, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to skip ahead real quick because I want to talk about the power of affirmations. Affirmations is one of the best ways to start to change your subconscious mind. I'm just going to say that statement. I'm going to give you a couple of things to back this up. You guys let me know if you want to learn how to do this, the affirmations, how to create some of your own, and then we can talk about it next week. I'm going to leave you with just a couple of key things here to look at, though. Number one study used functional magnetic resonance imaging, MRIs, to show that affirmations activate the reward center of the brain. So if we want to do something, we need to train our brain that it's good. Affirmations can trigger the reward center in our brains, make us feel better, which is something we want to do. If you want to change your habits, reward center of your brain is a great way to do that, right? It gives you incentive. That's one thing. Next, study also discovered that saying affirmations increased activity in the medial prefrontal cortex and the posterior cingulate. You look up what that means. Study shows self-affirmations decrease health deteriorating stress. High stress means high cortisol, means your body gets ravaged by stress. Affirmations can reduce that. People have successfully increased physical activity levels using self-affirmations in experiments. More exercise means healthier mind, healthier body, healthier life. Affirmation has been shown to help people perceive threatening messages with less resistance. Everything that's going on in the world, and then you have family that come in, and if you're one of those people that have a problem dealing with drama that's going on around you and you feel threatened in any way by that, current political thing, economic downturn, whatever, COVID and pandemics and monkeypox and everything else crazy, affirmations can help you deal with those and help you with coping. Research shows that
Affirmations can make a person less likely to dismiss harmful health messages. You pay more attention to your body so you don't go down that slope too far. Students who are contending with negative stereotypes, every single one of you guys should consider yourself a student. I don't care if this is a study that was done for college. Understand this is you, because you're all students of life. If you were experiencing negative stereotypes, now some of you guys may be experiencing negative stereotypes because of others around you. Some of you are experiencing the negative subconscious thoughts that you have created in your own mind based off of your life, your experience, etc. Oh, I don't follow through. I never see things to completion. I'm just not good at this. I struggle with technology. I'm a perfectionist and I never get things done, whatever. Affirmations boosted academic achievements in college. Practicing self-affirmations has effectively lowered stress and rumination, both of which contribute to depression and anxiety. Affirmations can significantly increase feelings of hopefulness instead of hopelessness. In one study, a short affirmation exercise boosted the problem-solving abilities of chronically stressed subjects to the same level as those with low stress. It helps your cognitive function, guys. It helps treat people with low self-esteem, depression, mental health conditions. Spending just a few minutes thinking about your best qualities before a high-pressure meeting can calm your nerves, increase your confidence, and improve your chances of a successful outcome. Studies by doctors and scientists. Affirmations are not simply connecting you to the universe and putting out good thoughts. They work in your brain, which controls the rest of your damn body. And your actions and your interactions and the problems that you have and dealing with those problems and finding opportunities instead of issues. Affirmations can do all of those things. So you guys have access right now to this Google Drive folder. And I'm going to drop it into there one more time. Inside of this, we've got a 30-day affirmation challenge. Now I've given you guys the opportunity, if you want to use this, change it up and use it for yourself, you can. I've got brain health. I'm going to put these slides in there. I've got more here and I skipped over a bunch. But inside of this, you've got affirmation challenge. We've got some other things in here. You've got an opportunity to go through it. Now, I'm not going to ask right now. Well, I mean, I can. Is understanding more about affirmations and affirmations, how to create them for yourself. Would you guys find this helpful for me to kind of continue this on Monday? How to create them, how to do it, what to do it, why it works. Good. Okay. So I'm going to do that. You've already got access to this stuff. So study some of it. Because even though I'm going to review it and some of these slides on Monday, I'll bring some extra information. But if you review it, you'll learn some of it. You learned a little bit now, hopefully. You'll learn a little bit more as you study. You're going to learn a little bit more come Monday, and then you're going to start doing these. Even if you're already doing them, you're going to do more. And in doing so, you'll benefit yourself. And ultimately, that's my goal. Okay. I was very much of the opinion years ago where I was one of those guys like, oh yeah, goals are good. Affirmations? Okay. There's a way to do it where you don't get that feeling, right? Affirmations that have nothing to do with you, those are pretty hard to engage with, right? I can't say like I am an NBA basketball player. I am one of the best athletes on the planet. Like that's not an affirmation that my brain is going to connect to, right? Because there's no basis in reality. But affirmations, affirmations, I'm going to explain both of those. We're going to dive into that. You guys have access there, and then I will get more into it on Monday. So I'm going to wrap this up.
Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.